The South China Sea is a grand chessboard of global power, a region where the ambitions of nations collide and the future of international order is constantly being negotiated. Here, vital shipping lanes crisscross the waters, supporting the flow of global commerce. Rich fishing grounds sustain millions of livelihoods, while beneath the waves, suspected oil and gas reserves promise untold wealth and energy security for those who can claim them. For decades, this vast maritime expanse has been a theater of simmering tensions and unresolved disputes. Multiple nations, each with their own histories, cultures, and ambitions, lay overlapping claims, fueling a complex web of rivalry and negotiation. At the heart of the dispute is China's sweeping nine-dash line, a claim that stretches deep into the sea and challenges the sovereign rights of its neighbors, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei. This assertion of control has led to frequent standoffs and diplomatic protests. The stakes are not just regional, but truly global. A third of the world's trade passes through these waters. Any disruption here could send shockwaves through the international economy, affecting everything from the price of goods to the stability of markets worldwide. The United States, though not a direct claimant, insists on freedom of navigation and upholding a rules-based order. Its regular naval patrols and diplomatic interventions have raised the stakes even further, drawing in allies and adversaries alike. For ordinary people, these tensions are not abstract. They are lived realities. Fishermen and sailors who venture into contested waters face daily risks of harassment, intimidation, and even violence as rival coast guards and navies patrol the same seas. In recent years, China's rapid construction and militarization of artificial islands has dramatically altered the security landscape. These fortified outposts bristle with radar, missiles, and airstrips, creating a new and volatile status quo that has alarmed neighboring countries. The world watches with growing concern, aware that a single miscalculation or accident could ignite a conflict with devastating consequences for the region and beyond. On November 19, 2025, we examine an event that encapsulates this tension, a Philippine resupply mission that unexpectedly became a flashpoint, drawing the eyes of the world. What should have been a routine operation to deliver supplies to Marines stationed on a remote outpost instead escalated into a high-stakes confrontation with warships and coast guards from rival nations facing off at sea. This single event quickly drew in the Philippines, China, and the United States, highlighting just how fragile peace is in this critical waterway, and how easily a local incident can spiral into an international crisis. The South China Sea remains a powder keg, one spark away from crisis as the world holds its breath and the clock continues to tick. At the heart of this tense standoff is the BRP Sierra Madre, a storied World War II-era ship, intentionally grounded on Ayungin Shoal in 1999 to assert the Philippines' territorial claims. Now a rusting hulk, it serves as a permanent Philippine military outpost and a steadfast symbol of sovereignty within the country's exclusive economic zone, standing defiantly against external pressures. A handful of Marines endure harsh conditions aboard, their lifeline dependent on perilous resupply missions that test their resolve and resilience. Each delivery of food and water is an act of defiance against China's efforts to isolate the outpost, a testament to the Philippines' determination to maintain its presence. China calls the ship's presence illegal, maintaining a near-constant blockade with Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels, a show of force intended to intimidate. Their goal: cut off supplies and force the Philippines to abandon the Sierra Madre, a strategic move in the broader geopolitical chess game. Every few weeks, the world watches as small Philippine boats run a gauntlet of larger Chinese ships, a dramatic scene that captures global attention. The Chinese use dangerous maneuvers and water cannons to block these missions, escalating tensions and risking confrontation. Filipino crews display remarkable courage, navigating the blockade to deliver their cargo, a testament to their unwavering spirit and commitment. The Sierra Madre, though decaying, has become a strategic tripwire, its occupation a direct challenge to Beijing's ambitions, a symbol of resistance. Each contested mission only strengthens its symbolic power, reinforcing the Philippines' resolve to stand firm. The struggle for Ayungin Shoal is a microcosm of the broader fight for sovereignty in the South China Sea, a region fraught with tension and competing claims. The rusting ship endures, as does the Philippine claim, a testament to the enduring spirit of a nation determined to protect its sovereignty. On November 10, two Philippine supply boats, escorted by the BRP Cobra, set out for Ayungin Shoal. They were immediately confronted by a flotilla of Chinese Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels. The Chinese executed aggressive blocking maneuvers, coming dangerously close to collision, and demanded the Filipinos leave. Undeterred, the Filipino crews pressed on, determined to assert their country's rights. The standoff escalated as a Chinese ship unleashed water cannons, a coercive tactic designed to damage and intimidate without firing a shot. The Philippine Coast Guard documented every move, exposing China's actions to the world. Despite the danger, the mission continued, a high-stakes game of nerve and navigation. The world watched as this David and Goliath encounter played out in real time. Overhead, a U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon surveillance aircraft circled, signaling American support. Equipped with advanced sensors, the Poseidon provided real-time intelligence to the Philippine forces below. This air escort was a deliberate show of alliance, leveling the playing field and deterring escalation. The U.S. presence sent a clear message: any attack on Philippine vessels could have serious consequences. For China, the Poseidon's surveillance complicated their blockade and challenged their claims. The aircraft's evidence gathering undermined Beijing's narrative of restraint. The Poseidon's shadow marked a new, more assertive phase in the contest for the South China Sea. China's actions on November 10 exemplify gray zone tactics, coercion without open conflict. By using Coast Guard and maritime militia instead of Navy warships, China frames confrontations as law enforcement, not military aggression. Water cannons and swarming maneuvers are aggressive. Wan ni gadots diri, we duinan versaki yet fall below the threshold of war. The maritime militia disguised as civilian fishing boats adds plausible deniability and confusion. This strategy makes it difficult for the Philippines and its allies to respond proportionally. Military escalation risks war. Diplomacy alone rarely deters Beijing. The November 10 operation highlights the challenge of countering gray zone coercion in real time. Outmatched at sea, the Philippines has turned to radical transparency as its weapon of choice. Coast Guard and embedded journalists document every Chinese maneuver, releasing footage to the public almost instantly. This strategy exposes China's actions, refutes official denials, and shapes global opinion. The narrative shifts from disputed claims to clear evidence of bullying. Transparency rallies domestic support and pressures the international community to respond. The presence of the U.S. Poseidon amplifies this effect, corroborating Philippine evidence with American surveillance. Together, they ensure China's actions are seen and judged worldwide. The battle for Ayungin Shoal is fought as much in the court of public opinion as on the water. In the information age, sunlight is a powerful deterrent. The South China Sea dispute is as much about law as it is about power. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, defines maritime rights and zones. Ayungin Shoal lies well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's 9-dash line. China rejected the ruling, continuing its activities as if nothing changed. This defiance undermines the rules-based order and emboldens might over right. The November 10 mission was an exercise of legal rights backed by U.S. support for international law. Each successful resupply is a small victory for the rule of law. The struggle is not just for territory, but for the principle that law, not force, should govern the seas. U.S. support for the Philippines is anchored in the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. Recent U.S. statements clarify an armed attack on Philippine vessels in the South China Sea will trigger mutual defense commitments. The November 10 operation, with U.S. air cover, put this commitment to the test. The message to Beijing aggression risks direct U.S. involvement. The U.S. is also building a coalition with allies like Japan, Australia, and European partners, increasing joint patrols and exercises. This network of alliances is the front line against coercion. The Ayungin standoff is now a test of U.S. credibility and the international community's resolve. The alliance is adapting to meet the challenges of gray zone competition. The stakes are higher than ever. The Ayungin Shoal incident is a microcosm of the 21st century's great power contest, where the world's attention is drawn to a remote reef that has become a flashpoint for regional tensions and global rivalries. It's a story of a small nation's unwavering resolve, a rising power's expanding ambition, and a superpower's enduring commitment to stability and freedom of navigation in these contested waters. The battle is fought not only with warships, but with Coast Guard cutters, water cannons, and viral videos that shape public opinion and international response. The Philippines' strategy of transparency, backed by strong alliances and international support, offers a blueprint for resisting coercion without resorting to war. Yet, the risk of escalation remains real and dangerous as every maneuver and message is closely watched by all sides. A single miscalculation, a misunderstood signal, or an unexpected incident could trigger a much wider conflict with far-reaching consequences. The path forward demands strength, credible alliances, and open communication to prevent crisis and build trust among nations. The real story is the daily struggle to defend a world where rules matter, sovereignty is respected, and smaller nations have a voice. The future of the Indo-Pacific and the global order that depends on it hangs in the balance, shaped by choices made today. We all have a stake in what happens next, as the outcome will echo far beyond these waters and affect generations to come.